Jonathan Wild is born in 1682 in Wolverhampton, England. He grows up poor and struggles to make a living, eventually moving to London in search of work. Prompt sentence. A young 18th century Englishman walks the crowded streets of London, dressed in worn clothes, looking for a way to survive. 2. Life in prison. Story sense. Wild is jailed for debt in London. Inside prison, he meets many thieves and realizes there's money to be made from crime. Prompt sentence. Inside a dim London prison cell, Jonathan Wild listens carefully to seasoned thieves, plotting a future among them. 3. Becoming a thief-taker. Story sense. After release, Wild becomes a thief-taker, a man who catches criminals for rewards, but secretly works with them. Prompt sentence. Jonathan Wild presents himself as a crime fighter in elegant 18th century attire, while secretly shaking hands with London's thieves in the shadows. 4. Building his criminal empire. Story sense. Wild trains thieves, controls stolen goods, and manipulates both the police and criminals, becoming the thief-taker general. Prompt sentence. In a candle-lit room filled with stolen treasures, Jonathan Wild commands a network of thieves, plotting over maps and gold coins. 5. Betraying his own men. Story. Since whenever his men disobey him or hide loot, Wild betrays them to the authorities, collecting more rewards. Prompt sentence. A cunning Jonathan Wild secretly meets London officials, pointing out one of his own thieves to claim a bounty. 6. The rival. Jack Sheppard. Story sense. A young thief named Jack Sheppard becomes famous for escaping prison repeatedly. Wild sees him as a threat and tries to have him executed. Prompt sentence. Jack Sheppard breaks out of his cell at night while Jonathan Wild watches from the crowd, furious and threatened. 7. The fall of Jonathan Wild. Story. Since public opinion turns against Wild, he's arrested for receiving stolen goods, the very crimes he pretended to fight. Prompt sentence. Jonathan Wild is dragged through the streets of London by soldiers, the angry crowd shouting and throwing insults. 8. Execution at Tyburn, 1725. Story sense. Wild is hanged at Tyburn before thousands of cheering citizens, ending his double life as both hero and villain. Prompt sentence. At Tyburn Gallows, Jonathan Wild stands before a massive 18th century crowd as the hangman prepares the rope. 9. Legacy. Story. Since, after his death, stories of his deceit spread everywhere, making him a symbol of corruption and hypocrisy. Prompt sentence. An old book opens in a candlelit study, revealing the title, The Life and Death of Jonathan Wild the Great. Would you like me to turn these 9 prompt sentences into image prompts? For example, AI art generation or storyboard visuals? I can rewrite them in that format next.